First, you need to set up a initial static hold. So static hold is just basically this thing, this the character is just gonna be static. The reason why is that when the scene opens, you don't want to immediately just go straight into movement. The audience's eye needs to register what's happening and kind of get bearings of the surrounding, the situation, within the world, right? So that's why you don't want to just go right off the bat. So from frame 1 to 10, so that's about what, 10 frames. 10 frames is a good amount for the eye to just read something, right? 10 frames. So at frame 1, what you want to do is select everything, the whole thing. And this is going down to main poses workflow. Select everything, go to frame 1, press S. Now you see here, everything is keyframed. Okay. Frame 10 is over here. Press S. So now you have your static hold. It's just static, literally static. Okay. Alright. And remember to go back and forth, major keyframes is your either your less than or greater than keys. Okay. Alright, so we got the initial static hold and I explained why. Next, we're gonna set up the single bounce, right? She needs to bounce. I'm gonna bring this one over here so you can kind of see, right? This is the same file, both file, everything deleted, right? So you saw that, right? And you could see the static hold, serving its purpose, because this stages for the audience to get ready for your boop, that little pop. This here, the little pop, is to set up for the anticipation, right? So just a little extra icing on the cake, and that's the reason why I did that. And it just feels more natural to do so instead of just going right into the anticipation. It's like a setup for that. All right, so I explained about the single bounce to set up the anticipation. Right, now I'm gonna do it. It's from frame 10 to 15. 10, 15 is right here. Press S. And remember, I have everything selected. Everything is selected. Okay. Let me squeeze this a bit. Never mind. Oh, there's good. Boom, boom. Now, to do the little hop, I'm going to zoom in. This is a little trick. And this is where you're going to learn about breaking tangents and speed velocity changes. I'm going to grab my center of gravity, the one that I talked about. Okay. And we're going to do a little hop. And the hop is using your Y, which is your translate Y. Translate Y, as you can see, there's no keyframe. I'm going to zoom out so you can just get your bearings. Alright. This is your graph editor. Right. And I'd rather just show and explain the graph editor as things are happening. That's just the best way. Okay, so I want to hop. So from here to here, okay? In between here, I'm going to place a little hop. How am I going to do that? Translate Y, here's your Y, just to teach about what these are. This solid line means there's no movement, okay? This here is your 0 mark, right? Nothing's happening. And up and down is your distance, right? Like how high, right? how high, up and down. Right, see, all this number is going up. This equates to how many grid spaces going up. Okay, and so you're gonna watch this. I'm gonna grab these two keys, and these things, you see these little things here? These are your tangents. Tangents. And they help to manipulate the speed and velocity of things, movement. I'm gonna grab both of those, okay? And get used to these little weird things. And I'm gonna do something called breaking tangents. That is this right here. There's only a couple of these that you're gonna be using. This is one of them. Break tangents. It literally looks like it's broken. Click it. If you notice, now it turns into little, marching ants or dotted lines. Alright? That means it's broken. So I'm gonna go right here in between, around here. Okay, between 10 and 15. I'm gonna grab this key. This is a keyframe. Alright? This right here, that's your tangents, like I said. But watch what happens. And this is my translate Y. Ooh, crap. Let me undo that. This is your translate Y, right? Which is in green. I'm gonna grab the key, which is in yellow, right? These are the yellow keyframes. And here, and like I mentioned, this is the up value. Up, up, up. Going value of up. It's like saying, asking someone jump, and the person says how high. So you're gonna pull. Okay. Looks like nothing's happening. I'm gonna grab this. Okay, this tangent. A keyframe. It's attached tangent. Looks like I gotta pull it more. Alright, why isn't it moving? Come on. This is weird. One second. Okay, so there's a reason why it didn't move. It's too small. See, that's like 0.01, like a little pinch. So I'm gonna go over here, and I'm gonna grab my tangent that I broke. Remember, this is breaking it. Where you grab both of it and you break it. Okay, see? And I'm gonna raise it up, and you'll notice. See that over here? It starts to update. Grab that. Grab this. See? Boom. Alright. And then you can press F. Right? That'll kind of resize it. Right? And you press Alt and right mouse button to zoom in or out. Alt and right mouse button. And you can also show this graph editor in a different way. By holding Alt and right mouse button, and you drag. Holding Alt and Shift. Hold on Alt and Shift. You can pull it this way, or you can squish it this way. Right, Alt and Shift. Then Alt and right mouse to zoom in a bit. And then let me just zoom in. And then you can do Alt and Shift and right mouse and push up. Okay, right. Again, Alt and Shift to scale the view, how it looks like, so you can see more of it. So that's again Alt and Shift, and you can pull towards your right or left to do this, or Alt and Shift and your right mouse button and pull up or down to do that. It gives you a different feel or look of the graph editor. This is critical, right? Let me okay, so we did that. Let me pause the video for a bit. Alright, so I'm back, and what I did was I added this. Okay, regarding the Alt, Shift, right mouse, right? You hold the right mouse, then you drag drag mouse either up and down, drag the mouse either up and down. Okay. This manipulates how the graph editor frames your animation curves. So I put that down. I'll just leave it here so you can always go back to it. Alright. Now going back to this, right? I'm gonna hold down Alt and right mouse button to kind of zoom out a bit. Alt and middle mouse to kind of pan it and frame it. I'm gonna grab this handle, right? Animation curve handle. And you see this right here? See how it does that? Right. I'm gonna zoom out. The reason why I'm doing this is so I get room, and so I'm gonna jack up this curve. See what's happening? So like I said, this is your up value. How high do you want this guy to jump? Boom, boom. And this, you look here, going across, it's only like 0.5. What does this 0.5 mean? 0.5 means like half a grid box. Literally, if I zoom in here, right, half of a grid box. It went up this much. This is this much, right? Half, right there, or a little over half. Alt and B, so you can see better. B as in Bob. Alt and B again, so you can kind of see it like this, or Alt and B as well. Which one do I like? I like this one. Or yeah. All right, so there you go. And I'm thinking it needs to be higher. All right. So in my original example, I'm gonna just press F so I can frame it, right? And here I press F to frame. It went up to two units, right? So I'm gonna grab here and here. You see how I framed it nicely, right? That's all because of doing the Alt and Shift and right mouse to either drag left to right or up and down, right? That kind of sets the stage to frame it better, and then thus I get to do this. Zoom out a bit, so I gotta reach up to 2. I set it to 2, so I'm just pulling, right? I'm pulling, so I reach a little over 2. See, 2 units high, 1, 2 units high, 2.5 more or less. So there you go. And remember, just to recap, I grabbed those keys and I broke the tangents. Okay, all right. So yeah, there we go. We did that. So that's what, 3 minutes. All right. So we did that. And then let's show it. Zoom out it here. Alt and V as in Victor to play it. Okay, I'm gonna go back to here and boop, see? And I'm gonna grab my little cursor, maybe pull it back a bit. Not cursor, but range slider. Right. So I want to play this much. Go back. Alt and V as in Victor. Boop. 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 Alright, cool. So we did that. We got our little setup, for our major move of anticipation. It's fun to make it anyway. Okay, next is your anticipation. We're gonna roll backwards. Spacebar into here. Zoom out. Okay, and I'm gonna grab all of my controllers. Right, and here's our keys that I just introduced you guys. Right, I select everything because what I don't want to do is just have to grab each single one, right, that I'm gonna intend to animate, and I have to micromanage. I just want to grab the whole thing and just set the keys, just plant it down really quickly instead of micromanaging. That's why I did that. And that goes back to your keyframing the main poses workflow. And undo that. And I don't like this, right? I'm gonna grab it. Grab that. I want more of a natural curve. It's just nitpicking right there. All right, so we broke the tangents. You learned about that. Learned about this velocity, right? So going back to this is a velocity from here. It's gonna blast off. This curve means that it's a pretty drastic curve, right? But if I did something watch in relation here and here. If I yank it, boom. See, that's even more drastic. Now it goes up over 2.5 units, right? And I'm gonna just undo that. So this is, you start to learn and understand what these curves mean in relation to movement. All right, that was 5 minutes. Jeez, man. Go up and bounce down, and then after that, he needs to roll back. Right? Here's my front. Remember, always know where you are. I'm gonna grab all of this, right? Okay. I'm gonna just press S just to make sure I keyframed everything as a whole set. At frame 15, right? From frame 15 to 21, so I'll go forward, hold down Alt, and I believe the greater than sign, right? Alt, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 frames I went forward. Okay, that's Alt and the greater than sign. 6 frames I went forward. Hit S. Right, see, I'm plopping down my major keyframe landmarks so that I know where everything is. And I don't do it for individual controllers, because then things get really complicated and confusing quickly. You just want to hammer down the main shots, main movement. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 frames is a good frame count, alright, for 24 frames per second. 6 frames is not too fast, where it's like a glitchy movement. It's not too slow, where it's going to be floaty. 6 frames is pretty good. Alright, so since I nailed my keyframe marker, now I can come back in, grab the control. Remember I told you guys that this is your main controller. I'm going to pull back. If you notice, I pull back -10. See here? This is -20. I don't want that. I want -10. The reason why -10 is, you know, right around here-ish, whatever, is that you want to make the pullback or the anticipation reasonable. You don't want to jack it all the way back, you know. So I just 10 from here to here. Nice little pullback. And press S. Right? See, I just press S. This is my X translate, and when it's going down, it's going in negative. -10. See that? -10. -10. Going this way is -10. That's what that is. Alright, so that was 8 minutes. Alright. Well, a little over 8 minutes. No. That's actually 20 minutes. Yeah, it's 20 minutes. Okay, I gotta cut it short then. So we did that. We pull back, pull back. And alright, so let me just finish off this part. You know, our anticipation, okay? Let me just go here. I'm gonna make this bigger, right? So I'm chopping up the videos for per major movement and explaining at the same time. So from here, now I want to mess with the velocity, right? So here, Alt and V as in Victor. So you notice how the way it goes back, you know, it's pretty predictable. See, linear, or it kind of slowly starts and then picks up speed and slowly ends. You see right here. Then we do Alt and Shift. Let me just resize this. See how important this is? And zoom in. Right, Alt, Shift, and right mouse button, either left or right, up and down, to resize it. So you see here, this here, I'm going to Alt and greater than sign to scrub. This here is a gradual movement velocity. See, and then you know, constant speed, and then slows down. See, it slows down. It slowly picks up speed and then slows down. So that's what that is. I mentioned, it's going back in negative space, -10, going backwards. And then I'm gonna break some tangents. My ball control COG, translate X, going back, right? So remember, all of this is flat at 0, no movement, right? And then suddenly, movement. I'm gonna grab those two keys, I'm gonna break it. Break, right there, see? Now it's broken. Why did I do that? Well, when it anticipates or it hops, right? Like getting ready, hop, and then I want him to just pull back aggressive, make it fun. So how do I do that? Well, since I broke it, now I can manipulate. So watch this and this. Yank it down, see? See what it does? Now I can manipulate the velocity. So I'm gonna do something like that. Right? So let's try it out now. Alt and V, as in Victor. See that? Boom. Or if I want to, I can make it super aggressive. Like that. So we're going. See that? That's almost too much. It's like a breaking stop. Maybe I'll just dial it back a bit. Like that. This, I'm just gonna leave it alone. So it kind of eases in. See? That's what I wanted. Right here, kind of picks up speed rather than ease into the movement. Right, so that's a lot. That's a lot you just learned. Breaking tangents, manipulating the velocity, understanding the graph editor, and what the hell these numbers are and what they're doing and all that. So just a little bit at a time. Understanding to grab it from here, right? Right here. Understanding about plopping down major keyframes. Just hammer it down, see? So we know what is what, which is why I just grab everything instead of micromanaging and selecting individual controllers and confusing the hell out of yourself. And that's it. Bye.